Hey, I'm Sean Bose, concert visual designer in Los Angeles, California. And today, we're going to talk about how you can use a special mode in Notch's Clone to Mesh node to create this hologram look. Alright, let's start out with a blank layer and we'll pull in our model. We'll make a light. Pull it up, tilt it down. I know already this is going to be backwards, so we'll just spin it around. Pull this back. Cool. Alright, so we can see our model here. And this is from a face scan app. I can't remember the name. So I will put it up here. So we used a face scan app to capture this face. I'm just going to pull in the texture as well. Create a quick material. See what the texture looks like. Whoa. Pull that into the color and the diffuse and bring that in there. Just gonna flip it. Cool. Alright. This light's a little hot. Let's bring it down. Sweet. Alright, so that's my head. Awesome. But if we take a look at the geometry of this head, I'm just going to go in the material and check wireframe mode. We'll zoom in, you can see it's made of a bunch of kind of messy triangles. This is pretty typical of a photo scanned object. So that's what we're working with, and that's what's going to present us with some challenges along the way. But I'm just going to go through the process of how I made this and talk you through it. So we wanted to create this hologram look, and I thought I would use Clone to Mesh to put some some objects in there as pixels, and then we'd be able to use all of these effectors to create some interesting effects and kind of distort it a little bit. And yeah, so let's set that up. I got the Clone to Mesh. I'm going to need a shape 3D. Make that a child and pipe our mesh into the object. Cool. And you can see we have some spheres cloning to the top of my head here, which looks kind of stupid. So we're just going to bring the scale down quite a bit, and I'm just going to change this material. Material. Alright, here we go. And I'm just going to change the material to have some emissiveness. So they're a little brighter. Make these even smaller. I think my magic number was 0.02. Cool. So right now the mode that we're on is vertex, and if we crank this up a bunch, you can see that we're cloning to each point in the mesh, but because it's made of triangles, they're kind of a mess. This could work for some looks if that's what you're going for, but in our hologram look, you can see we have these nice kind of organized horizontal lines, which kind of gives it that scan line hologram vibe. And this is not that. And this is a pretty common cloner mode. And if we go through some of the other modes, polygon center, kind of the same thing. Because it's triangles, none of them are really in lines. They're just kind of all triangulated next to each other. It's a bit of a mess. Edges, a little more dense, but still not quite. And even spread over surface is random. And these, you know, if you're used to Cinema 4D, these are sort of the modes that you're given and that you have to work with. And what you'd have to do is change the geometry of your original object to be more organized and use nice rows of quads in order to get nice rows of clones. But Notch is fucking cool and has another mode, spread over UV map. And if we hit that, immediately you can see we're getting closer to what we're looking for. All the clones are in this kind of grid shape spread over the surface of our object. And you can even see that the way that, you know, our number of clones is grayed out, and instead we have number of clones X and Y, as though this was like a some sort of like grid array cloner. But it's attached to the X and Y coordinates of our UV map, really our U and our V. So that's fucking cool. So what we can do, we'll just crank this up, I think even more, and we can create lines. And if we hide our object, we can start to build up our form with just these clones. I think I'll double it even more, and we're getting pretty close. You can kind of tell that that's a face made out of lines. We can even probably go double that, and now we have a fully dense mesh, but it's made out of these nice rows of clones. If we compare that really quick to like spread over surface, you can really see the difference. So that's awesome. That's pretty much the secret to this effect. The rest of it is just stylization. So we can go into that a little bit. I'll do that really fast. One thing that I did was checked on in our clone to mesh color clones. So now all of our clones are taking the color data from the material that we have on our original object and applying it to each clone, which gives it this kind of pixelated image look. I think I went in to our shape material, and this is going to kind of combine the two. So I added a little bit of emissiveness, brighten it up, and then if you add some color, it sort of multiplies on top, so you can make it kind of like a red. And then to give it even more of like a screen look, instead of using the alpha mode opaque, we can change to alpha blended and additive. That gives it a little bit of light and makes it look a little more like a hologram already. I'm gonna add some color to our light too. It's not really doing much because I think our emissiveness is too high. Yeah, that's cool though. Now that we have this set up, of course we can start to distort it with effectors, and this is really why I wanted to use a cloner. So we can say use the turbulence effector, pipe that into our effectors port, and if we change position, ooh, we can get some really bizarro effects. Increase the gain. We change the scale. Check that out. It's like some distortion. If we put like a beat pulse into it, into the blend amount, set that to replace. We kind of distort our hologram. It's all physical objects, so when you orbit around it in space, it's kind of neato. And then, of course, we'll add some glows. We've got our hologram head. Alright guys, so that's how you can use the spread over UV mode in Notch's clone to mesh node to create this cool hologram look, no matter what the underlying geometry looks like. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and come back later for more videos. I'll see you in the future. Peace.